Something unusual shook the basketball world this week, something most fans barely noticed at first. On the surface, it looked like just another media announcement, a standard television deal, another network adding a tournament to its lineup. But when news broke that the 2026 FIBA games would be broadcast on TNT Sports, the conversation inside basketball circles shifted immediately. Because this isn't just about airing games, it's about who will be the face of that broadcast. And at the center of that discussion is one name already transforming women's basketball: Caitlin Clark. Over the past year, Clark has achieved something few athletes manage so quickly. She didn't just gain popularity, she expanded the audience itself. Games featuring Clark became must-watch events. Arenas sold out. Television ratings soared. Sports talk shows that rarely covered women's basketball began leading their segments with Clark highlights. Now, with TNT Sports entering international basketball coverage, the spotlight on Clark could grow even larger. The FIBA stage is a different arena altogether. While the WNBA dominates professional women's basketball in the US, FIBA tournaments unite the global game. Teams from Europe, Asia, South America, and Africa competing under one international spotlight. When these competitions air on a major network like TNT Sports, the potential audience isn't just big, it's massive.
This whole FIBA ordeal? Oh, we can cash in here. Yesterday on Twitter, the buzz: where can I watch Caitlin Clark? Where can I watch FIBA basketball? Where can I tune in? You had to go to an app. You had to go here. You had to go there. You had to pay for this, pay for that. TNT says, oh, don't worry. We got something coming for you. We got something coming. And this is what TNT had coming. If you guys want to watch FIBA basketball, now you have a space, a spot to watch FIBA basketball. Big news in the name of accessibility. Women's World Cup and qualifying tournament games will be broadcast on TNT Sports.
Here's where the story gets really compelling. TNT Sports doesn't throw money at sports rights lightly. Networks meticulously analyze the numbers. They track the momentum of a sport, measure fan engagement, and identify which athletes are driving the attention. Right now, the clearest magnet for viewership in basketball is Caitlin Clark. Her game is almost cinematic. Deep three-pointers from distances that once seemed unimaginable. Passes slicing through defenses with surgical precision. So precise that analysts pause the replay just to break down what happened. Her confidence on the court has made her one of the most discussed athletes in basketball today. And just as the broadcast news was making waves, an entirely new development quietly entered the conversation, hinting at just how much the landscape is about to shift.
Let's talk about USA basketball. We have found out how we can watch Caitlin Clark and the USA basketball players play just next week. Just next week, folks. Whole week of games, and we got a way for you to watch. Let me say this to begin. This is going to be very interesting because these games are going to be broadcast on the same network that broadcast Unrivaled. Oh, the compare and contrast of these ratings are going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see that, right? Because Unrivaled teams, hold on now, they're supposed. Wouldn't shock me to see 500,000 viewers on one of these games. Maybe more than that. I'm predicting at least 3 to 4 times the amount of viewers.
Well, Aaliyah Boston will no longer compete in the World Cup qualifiers after her right lower extremity injury in Unrivaled. Fever PR, Aaliyah Boston will return to Indianapolis for further evaluation. Additional updates will be provided as they become.
Aaliyah Boston has been a cornerstone of the Indiana Fever's recent rise and a major figure in Team USA's player pool. Her leadership, dominance in the paint, and championship experience have made her a key contributor in countless international competitions. But recent reports confirmed that Boston would be unable to participate with Team USA due to injury concerns. For fans, this was disappointing. Boston's presence brings balance, toughness, and stability to any lineup. Yet injuries are an unavoidable part of sports, and when a major player steps away, the spotlight inevitably shifts. In this case, that spotlight falls squarely on Caitlin Clark. Consider the timing: a global basketball tournament, broadcast by TNT Sports, with millions of viewers tuning in for the first time, and one of the most recognizable young stars in the sport stepping into the center stage. Everything aligns: the broadcast platform, the international tournament, and the rising superstar. Moments like this can reshape how a sport is perceived because exposure matters. For years, advocates of women's basketball have argued that the game simply needed a larger stage, more consistent television coverage, greater promotion, and more opportunities for fans to witness the elite skill level across the league. Now, that stage is expanding, and TNT's entry into international basketball signals that networks believe the audience is ready. International competition also introduces unique styles of play. European teams emphasize precise ball movement and tactical execution. Asian squads prioritize speed and disciplined defense. South American teams bring creativity, flair, and relentless pace. When American stars step into that environment, the game evolves. Defenses adjust, strategies shift, and the players who adapt excel, often emerging with even greater reputations. For Caitlin Clark, this is a golden opportunity. The fearless shooting, rapid decision-making, and bold playmaking that made her a household name in college and the WNBA translates seamlessly to the international stage. This is where a rising superstar cements her global impact.
May dissolve TNT Sports into what they do. In this article I read, there was a lot of different things, sporting events, that TNT has on its roster. Unrivaled was not on it. Unrivaled was not there, and their media rights deal ends next season. After next season, TNT can get out of that. And judging by the ratings, woof. Now, I don't know about you guys. The question going into USA Basketball now.
Something unusual is happening in the basketball world, and most fans don't fully grasp just how significant it is. At first glance, it looked like a typical media announcement, another television deal, another sports network adding an event to its schedule. But when it was revealed that the 2026 FIA Games would be broadcast on TNT Sports, the conversation inside basketball circles shifted instantly. This isn't just about coverage. It's about who will become the face of that broadcast. TNT doesn't take sports rights casually. Networks study the numbers. They measure momentum. They analyze which athletes drive engagement. And right now, the clearest attention driver in women's basketball is Caitlin Clark. Her style is cinematic, deep, near-impossible threes, passes that slice through defenses, and fearless playmaking that leaves analysts replaying the tape just to understand what happened. The story, however, isn't just about one player. It's about the evolution of women's basketball as a global sport. The WNBA continues to expand. New teams are in discussion. Attendance is rising, and media coverage is stronger than ever. Simultaneously, international tournaments are gaining visibility, connecting the sport to audiences worldwide. This combination is ushering women's basketball into a new era, one no longer confined to regional markets, but now part of a global conversation. Global exposure creates opportunities. New stars emerge, fresh rivalries form, and audiences around the world discover the game. For TNT, broadcasting the FIA Games places the network at the center of basketball's most exciting international stage. For players, it's equally transformative. Performances now reach millions of potential new fans, many watching women's basketball for the first time. Yet this global stage also highlights challenges. Injuries matter. Aaliyah Boston, for example, remains sidelined due to health concerns. For bigs like her, recovery can take longer, and full healing isn't always guaranteed given the physical demands of their position. Teams have to balance player health with contractual and competitive considerations, especially if maximum salaries are on the line. Protecting investments becomes a priority. For fans, the timing couldn't be more exciting. The next chapter of women's basketball is unfolding. International tournaments, rising stars, and major television networks converging at the same moment. The 2026 FIA Games aren't just another event. They're a global stage where the sport's future will be defined. And as the lights shine and millions of fans tune in, all eyes will be on who rises to the occasion, shaping the next era of women's basketball for years to come.